All right, we live.
What's going on, y'all? Peace. Hey, the People's Network presents Outlaw Radio. We got the whole crew, except with the exception of Key Minor. Shout out to the estrogen of the show. Hope you're having a good night tonight. Want to say thank you, man, to all the support we've been getting. Thank you to the YouTube followers. Thank you for the Facebook followers, man. And just all the underground support we've been getting too, man. We got some changes coming to the show. Y'all look forward to it. I am Brother Talk to Teach, listen and learn your truth, transfer engineer, out here doing all I can as a natural man. Like I said, we got all the fellas here today. Go ahead, brother, tell the people about yourself.
Peace, y'all. I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, the hood healer, your holistic health and wellness coach, Kamar Carter. Peace, y'all. I am the one that brings to you nature's nature herbs. So make sure y'all go get y'all herbs. We down there at Honeybee Sage at the Sherman Phoenix. Me, 414-949-2122.
Do that. The brother got to do that too, right? This is the ritual.
Sound check.
Yeah, sound check. Hey. So here he can multitask. He's a man of many hats. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and tell the people about yourself like they don't already know.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy.
Yeah.
The world-class smartass building Kevin Barnes, aka the mayor of Chocolate City, the minister with the microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement. What's good on a Thursday night, man? We're gonna do Outlaw Radio, and it's a very special show tonight. Something that we've wanted to talk about this for a minute. So hit like, hit share, hit follow. Let everybody know it's going down, man. The People's Network presents. We do the Warrior Report on Wednesday nights. We do Outlaw Radio on Thursdays and Saturdays. So catch one of those shows. Usually they're from 7:30 or 8 o'clock until about 9. So you can get it in, man. And on Thursday nights, we like to open the weekend up. But I wanted to do the Heterosexual Male Show tonight. And we'll explain that. But I have to say, the homie that I went to school with, he got murdered yesterday. And I said Larez Tate because I'm an idiot. It's Taylor. It's Larez Taylor. So rest in peace to Larez Taylor. Rest in peace to Cannonball. So I had to straighten that out. And then I had a very funny call this morning because, somebody who I went to school with, I don't know, college 20 years ago that I did radio with. And this dude actually got me a job doing like high school games on the local radio station. But it was a professor that we had in common. His name was Bob Ridley, a big red Irish dude, right? Who was crazy, right? Like he was classes, right? So since I had transferred in, theirs was spread out over 4 years. I had him for 3 each semester. So everybody was so scared of me. Wow. But he's the first person that put me on like doing the play-by-play on the basketball games on the local TV station. Right. He just was like, this dude should be in front of the microphone. But he was so so crazy, man. You walk in his class a minute late, he cuss you out like you stole his wallet or something. Like, yo, get your ass out of my class. He was wild. So rest in peace to Bob Ridley, man. Crazy times in my life. And that's my college radio thing. And he was one of the main catalysts of that. He was letting me know. He had a nickname for me. It was Windbag.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Tell us about
Imagine that.
Well, because he was a speech, like higher level speech teacher. And you had to take him for like advanced public speaking. And he do what they call impromptu speeches. So he put a bunch of topics in a bag. You go in the hallway, you got 12 seconds to pull it out. Then you got another minute to look at it and come up with a 3-minute speech. My shit used to be like 6 minutes long. Like, how could you possibly come up with that much bullshit? That's how he would talk to you in class, right? So rest in peace to Bob Ridley, man. One of them old school dudes, man. His wife was my forensics coach. So, competitive speaking. So, rest in peace to Bob. But yeah, man, the Heterosexual Male Show, what is it about? Well, you got to understand it right now. It's very, very uncool to not be to be a man. The media makes it very uncool.
Savage.
If you're masculine in any kind of way, they want to downplay that. And they want to just
what they call it, toxic.
Right. They toxic masculinity, and you come up with all these subterms for what it actually is, which is just, men being men. And I'm not saying men should be feminine. I don't think anybody should be attacked for that. Right. So once again, this goes to the gay thing. If you're gay, then be gay. That's fine. We know it's the new age, it's a new world. Like, you gay, you gay. But respect my right to be a heterosexual.
Just like they don't want us to push our thoughts on them. Don't push your thoughts on us either.
Right. The force feeding.
Right.
We did a show one time called No Vaseline. The force feeding of the homosexual agenda. And it was all about the way they bully people, and people are scared of them and all this kind of stuff, man. So we wanted to talk about that and really represent for men, man. Don't be shamed because you're a heterosexual. There's nothing wrong with the fact that if you're a man, you like women. So you shouldn't be made to feel that way by some gay person. Like, oh, he discriminating against me. I ain't even saying shit.
Right.
So it's one of those things that I feel like we need to discuss. And shout out to Joe Herrick too, because he's watching in Minnesota. And that's who Joe got me first radio thing, right? So me and Joe used to do the games on TV, and I talked to him, communicated with him today. I hadn't talked to Joe in almost 20 years. So he's still on the radio. Joe, you got to tell me what your call letters is up there. He's still on the radio up in Minnesota. So it's crazy shit, man. But yeah, back to the masculinity. Yeah. Now, if you really add black to the masculinity, it takes it to a whole other level.
Yeah. That's double whammy.
Now it's something crazy.
It's kind of the purpose, though, right? That means that's really the masculinity they was attacking, and which comes to just a small piece of how they were attacking really the black family, right? Because as much as I feel the topic and certainly can go on my testosterone laden tyrants and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, we really, in order for us to be successful, we're gonna really have to start promoting the black family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree. But within the universal laws, there's a law of gender, there's a masculine and a feminine, and so it's certainly something to be addressed and discussed.
And I don't think this shouldn't be a topic that's strenuous for either side. When women are standing up now for their rights, right? So women are accountable now. Now you got Me Too, y'all, them, me and y'all, my cousin, them, but you got all these organizations, right, to protect their rights, and that's fine because obviously they've been done an injustice in this country. But at the same time, by society in general. But
black men don't run society. So it's kind of a trick, right? So when they get into the whole feminine movement and our black women join the white women and say, stop oppression. We want to make equal wages, and for the black women to turn.
That's how they trick.
Well, that's it, because the black women began to separate from us. We were never oppressing.
Right.
We never stopped you from getting equal wages. That wasn't our position.
Right. They fight was with our fight.
That was white people's fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with us.
White men had a problem. White men had a problem with that.
White men have a problem with everybody.
Well, you know what I'm saying? So now they make it an issue between men and women.
But it wasn't our fight.
Exactly.
And women
and then that doubled down on us.
Trickery.
You know what I'm saying?
That was just trickery. So
that doubled down on us.
You have to be aware, we were never oppressing. That was never black men.
I just wanted to be tonight. I like to be free enough to call this show Queer Free Radio. Right?
Say the word. Just say it then.
Queer Free Radio.
Okay.
This show is not for queers. Okay. Now, am I saying something homophobic or am I stating the facts? When I say this is not a show because that's a word we can still use, by the way. It sounds worse than it is. So we can still say queer because some of them identify as queer. So everybody froze.
I don't know.
That's how scared we are.
I'm not scared.
I'm scared to talk about it. I just don't know. I don't know what's offensive. Because I hear them say this shit.
Right. Well, it's in the call letters, right? It's in the elemental PQ.
They kick
Q was in there, right?
Yeah, that's what the Q is, right? That's queer, right? Yeah. So you right,
man.
We just figured that shit out. Nice,
we common sense our way through.
They came to an understanding on the show. These dudes just had a moment.
It's an epiphany.
Yeah. Shout out to 3041 North, man. This is Terry, 414-810-3131.
5-star.
We had the Get Motivated, Get Healthy Facebook group here. They got a seminar coming, 41 North, North Avenue. Is it 32nd and North Avenue? Something like that. You'll see it, trust me. Yeah. You're in that area. Across from We Energies. And right, they're gonna have speakers and all kinds of workshops and all this. So all you people that's into wellness, this will be an event that you can attend and have a good time. There'll be, like I said, workshops, speakers, food, all this kind of thing. So holler at Miss Serena Brown if you want more details. Maybe you can call and see if you can get a booth. 414-810-3131. Hit them people up. DAMGENT.
Yes,
Mr. Chestnut.
Dante Chestnut.
Yes.
What's you got the Hmong rapper? KT
Killer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right, out here.
He's doing his thing.
International.
What's
your boy, Twan Mac?
Man, what's up, Twan Mac? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna see you soon, brother.
Right.
But he's doing his thing.
We got your slot.
Nostalgic visuals, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his.
And he calls it urban contemporary rap, which I really dig.
Yeah.
Because,
it's for our group, right?
Just say all you said is
we made it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Fuck the police part.
And we tried to pass it off to the next generation. They dropped the ball. Did some mumble shit and dropped the ball. And he came back and swooped it back up like we
had to do it.
Yeah, show you how to do this.
So yeah, man. All the people that support Dynamic Movement Dance Studio, Next Level Vegans, right? Right. The Next Level Vegans, good as vegan food. So we're in tune with a lot of people, man.
Sound Silhouette, brother Hatef, doing this thing, man. So
part 2, Outlaw TV coming
again, man. So all the love, y'all stay tuned. See, I didn't know if we was promoting it yet. Sherman Phoenix, man, we finna have some changes.
We just said hi.
Okay, hi. Okay, hi.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Sherman Phoenix? How the village doing?
Cliffhanger.
Yeah. Peace to Rain Truth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have her coming down. She's gonna have her down for a couple shows this October before the vegan expo, food and drink expo. I'm sorry.
Yes.
If y'all interested in transitioning, you are curious about different vegan options or whatever, come on down, see what it's like. Last year, I want to say about 4,000 people showed up.
Wow!
Within 5 hours.
This is Vegan Fest.
Wow! Yeah,
when is this?
It's October 26th.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you actually gonna be able to catch us down there. I'll be vending. I'll be down there vending. I'll be doing security also.
Gotta have my people call you.
You come down, get your detox from me. Get your liver detox.
And
behave.
Don't get your whole tip ass.
Get your vitality mix. Come down, get that. Get your spirulina. Get your sea moss. That's sea moss. I'm telling y'all, that's my best seller, man. I think that's something everybody should be doing every day.
What form you got? I got
it in the capsule form. I got it in a powder form also. Okay. And I can get it in a gel form for you.
All right.
If you let me know a day ahead of time.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Sea moss.
It ain't easy to get. I've been looking for it. I got some powder, but it ain't my favorite, right? You know what I mean?
Right. That's but that's why I put it in the capsules too. Because that make it acceptable. You know what I'm saying? To do every day.
For sure.
So shout out to you.
With the turmeric.
Right? Shout out to you if you're tuning in.
Oh,
man.
yeah, I do that also.
Outlaw Radio.
Yeah, we get it in.
The Heterosexual Male Show on a Thursday night, talking about man shit, and you talking about herbs. And I really wanted to talk about man herbs. It's queer free radio.
Say it 3 times.
Queer
free. Talk about man herbs. Just talk about this vitality mix.
Right.
Fellas,
man
you want to get your libido together.
Right.
If your blood don't flow like it should flow down there, you don't get hard enough. You know what I'm saying? Come get some of these male vitality capsules. What I got.
Because y'all be buying shit out the gas station.
You're buying shit out the gas station. Now let me tell you another good thing about these capsules here. If you got high blood pressure, it's excellent for your high blood pressure.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? I got a few people who take them regularly for their high blood pressure. You know what I mean? And their sex life ain't bad either. They say their wife love them.
And she'll like it too.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? A straight male show.
Yeah.
Heterosexual male show.
That's what's up.
I love black women and black women love me, y'all.
See, that's like the first thing you have to say on the Heterosexual Male Show is, look, we as men can say, hey man, we like women. And when I say that, what I mean is men like to look at women.
Right.
Men like to talk to women.
Right.
Men like to be around
it's
women.
A codependence.
Sometimes.
It's a codependence. And that energy needs to be transferred. That's why it feels so good.
Because it's a masculine.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Men
Y'all doing an exchange here. You know what I'm saying?
Men like the way women smell. They like the way they sound.
To this shit.
So the thing is,
science to this shit, y'all.
You can't shame men.
Sacred geometry.
You can't shame men because of this. Now, does it go too far? Of masculinity exists now, and they're more openly regulated than they once were, because there used to be a rule, almost unspoken, where if you marry a woman and she's living in your house, you pretty much own her. She does what you tell her to do. You know, clean that shit up and cook that shit for them kids. Like that was, and in our society, black, because granddaddy had 2 families. You didn't even know. Who cares? He worked at Alice Chalmers for 40 years, right? He had money. So you found out later that damn,
because he didn't get caught on Instagram.
Sometimes they knew about each other.
Sometimes they did.
And it was like, well, that's my brother. Y'all just what?
Now what year is we talking? Because you took it back.
No, even from, if you look at it, even up to, I would say even the 1980s. And it's a generational thing, because first of all, that generation involved Southern mothers, like my mother. My mother grew up in the old Jim Crow South, where the hierarchy in the house with daddy was tremendous. Like he literally did whatever he wanted to do. It didn't matter, wasn't no CPS, wasn't no Instagram, wasn't none of that. He had you out in the country, and he could have kicked you in your ass with a metal boot, and it wasn't shit you could have done.
Now that was the way it was, but do you feel that made it right? So I looked,
no.
I looked on the.
No. I'm not justifying it or saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is, my mother came from that generation, right?
Right.
The women that we have now didn't come from that generation.
No, not at all. They don't even understand, except a few, right? Because I looked in the People's News Network.
Well, unless your girlfriend named Early May or some shit, like she's 65.
We had Fantasia. That was not 65, and her name was
not Early May. You think that was the same?
I do. Fantasia said that she thinks women need to submit to men, and that's why they can't find a man.
But it ain't that old Southern submission. It ain't Miss Celie and Mister.
But no,
you feel what I'm saying?
This
what that was the 40s or the 50s. I'm not going back to.
But I think
you thought I was going back to like.
But I think that we all have an understanding that that's not reasonable.
Exactly.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
And
we have the knowledge of understanding that everything in moderation. The truth is somewhere in between.
Exactly.
Everything needs balance, right? We know that now, right? We didn't know that before. We know that now.
There is a such thing, man, an alpha male and a beta male.
Absolutely.
No,
this is true.
There is a such thing.
Absolutely.
Because
that's the animal kingdom.
It's the pecking order. Yeah. So, and it's nothing wrong if you tell your woman, hey, go in there and make me a sandwich, and she go do it. But at the same time, it's gonna be something she can tell you to do that you jump to as well. And that's kind of like the compromise. So it's this, you got her in check. Listen, no, I do what she says.
It's a bug. Come kill it.
There you go with your shoe.
Get your ass up.
All up in the top of the house.
Go kill it.
Got hit by the ceiling fan and shit.
Hey,
Kevin. Laughing at you in the corner.
Hey, Kevin.
But that's some shit you got to jump up and do, right?
Speaking of bug,
yes, sir.
Kev, that damn cricket's still in here.
Hey, he's the last of the tribe.
He way down there somewhere today.
Look, I done murdered his whole clan. They whole band was, I'm telling you, he the last one.
I love the show, man. We had a cricket Wednesday. We had a cricket back here behind one of these things. And that motherfucker was just
chirping.
Crick through the whole damn show. We doing the show. Kevin was up chasing this motherfucker, man. Chasing him down in the middle of the
you
show.
just made the podcast. Listen, this is how we kill crickets here in Wisconsin.
Shout out to Wayne Richards. What's up, Wayne? He said he missed a couple of the live shows. Welcome back to the family.
Peace.
We're doing a heterosexual male show tonight. We're doing queer-free radio tonight.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you, because I appreciate, the fact that you named the show after me. I didn't realize you was giving honor to me tonight. You know what I'm saying? So when I got here, I was really surprised, but I appreciate that, man. That's love.
Hey, that takes us to our next point, which is ego, right? And I'm gonna tell you this. We always say as men that women they're made up of emotions. Men are made up over ego. And this is the greatest story ever sold. Not told, sold.
Mm-hmm.
You, as a man, believe you think you in control of your house, even if she get up to make you a sandwich. Do you know what kind of service that warrants? Meaning, if I got enough clout to say to you, hey, go in there and make me a sandwich, I better be on goddamn remote control, steady laser time for her.
Right.
And because you don't get it like that otherwise. Yeah. You know, unless you catch a girl from deep in the South or something, just like plumbing is new to her.
Let me tell you some
a
gem my mom's dropped on me at a young age.
What's that, brother?
She's told me that when you find a good woman,
the
good woman ain't gonna challenge you, right? Because she understands your ego. A good woman's gonna have you doing what she wants you to do, but have you thinking it was your idea.
We just said that the other night. That's a good woman. Exactly.
That's some wisdom right there. Because listen, she not gonna.
So we all agree upon that.
Oh,
listen, it's unanimous. We are unanimous.
So I done been on both sides.
That's a good. That's a good woman.
Having that woman and having the other kind.
A good woman. Again, a good woman will have a man doing the things she needs him to do, but make him feel like
it was his idea. She ain't challenging him a bunch of you better. No. You know what I'm saying?
Who's in control of who? Who got what? Who got what?
So, this is why it's the yin. This is why a woman should be able to submit and understand where her power lies.
The word.
Her power don't lie.
I'm gonna tell you.
Y'all know we got to get credit for it. We always use one thing. Context. Hold on. We always keep a word in the context with which it was used.
You better believe it.
So if we're going to say, we're talking about submit. The sound of that,
first of all, black woman curse word.
Period, it sounds like slavery.
Right, don't it?
The
and you know what? You just hit it on the nail. That's why I don't like that word.
That's why women don't like it.
Dude, that's what it sounds like.
It's not actually called submission. Submission is I give up. You made them submit. Right? No mas, like I quit.
Right.
I don't want a sensible, balanced, mentally, physiologically, emotionally healthy person wouldn't want somebody that they could just treat like shit.
Right.
And get away with it. Like, what's the fun? And after a while, that's got to get old. So a rational person wants somebody that they can coexist with.
Exactly.
So there has to be a balance between men and women in which I understand it's some things you can do that I can't. You know what I could do? I could teach my ball. I was good at teaching them that. But I couldn't teach my daughter how to paint her toenails or her fingernails or do her hair. Right.
I'm just saying.
Why I should have just sent her to you, right? Like that's what it sounds like.
You just such an excellent job.
Don't move like that. Now that's uncomfortable as you ever gonna see. I said queer free radio.
Right. And I was just down at the Summer Phoenix, man, and I was with Baba Courtney. You know what I mean? This is a mentor of mine, and we was down there talking.
Mr. Courtney.
Yeah, and we was talking about this is what we was talking about. I was asking him about, man, what you think about this whole submitting thing that's going on? You know what I mean? Because we talked about it the other day, and I told you where I stood. I said I feel like really, if you look at it, men are the ones who do more submitting. You know what I'm saying? Now we really have to take that into context. But then I was talking to Baba Courtney today, and he said, well, think about it. Really, it's a balance. It's time when the masculine, you know what I'm saying, does, and it's a time when the feminine.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then to have a good relationship, you have to understand that. You have to understand when it's your turn to sit down or when it's your turn to be quiet and let them lead. You know what I'm saying?
And one of the reasons why I decided to do the show is because I really wanted brothers. Really, look at the title of the show. I want you to ask yourself, are you a heterosexual male? Okay, are you a heterosexual? I hope you know what the word hetero means. And I hope you know what heterosexual means. And that's dressed up like women, but they still got their man parts, you'd like that. If you do, you're not a heterosexual. You're a homosexual. If you like to dress up in women's clothing, and run around and do all kinds of crazy, masculinity compromising things, then you're not a heterosexual.
Right.
You're a homosexual. And that's fine. Once again, it's fine.
How about I see that and raise
do your thing.
And say, if you are a male who likes a tongue, a finger, a thumb.
Don't do
this.
You
see what I'm saying? Listen. Come on now. Stop. If you like any of that, and I don't give a damn if you haven't done by a supermodel.
Right.
If you like entrance into yourself, I'm going to challenge you and say, you got some homosexual things going on.
Well, no, you're not a heterosexual at all if you do that.
Okay. Call yourself bi.
You can't say I'm still a man, though.
Weird.
Not really.
Even maybe at the very least, call yourself a beta man. But that by no means declare yourself the epitome of masculinity.
Right.
And don't try to enforce. See, once you come to this new understanding, and one problem I have, and I listened to Dennis Rodman on the Breakfast Club this morning, and he was talking about his phase, and they was giving him credit like, oh, everybody's doing what you was doing then when he was dressing like a woman and hanging with transgenders and all of this stuff.
You should apologize.
And I heard one word that kept being used, and I realized that we've all been slaves to this narrative, and this is why we're so programmed by it. I broke this down. I'm the Negro Whisperer.
Yes.
The main reason is because you keep associating the word free with who you are. So when you come out and you say, I'm gay, I like men, oh, now you're free. Now you living free.
Right.
Oh, okay, so the dude with the girlfriend is still a slave, right? Like that's a subliminal message.
Because gay men don't get shot in the street, right?
Well, yeah.
They ask you your sexual orientation before they put that police chokehold on you.
Wait, before you run, are you gay?
Right. So that's not realistic.
Because you might not have to run.
But it's game. It's game using technology. You know, they little.
But stop using the word free with it. Since you've been living free. No, stop. That's not a requirement of freedom to queer yourself.
What fucks me up is
because we realize we can say queer, so queer.
I'll say the other thing. Like
say it. What Jason? What you always say, boo? You better come on in.
You better come on in.
You will hit that line running.
And you know we should. Already in. I mean, we should. I mean, I'm sure they probably got disrespectful names for us too.
Well, of course they do.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, fuck it. I ain't offended. You know what I'm saying?
First of all,
my skin ain't that soft.
I gotta respect you to be offended by something you say. For me, right. You know what I mean?
I caught that, right?
I mean that was a zing. That was
right. Yeah, I caught that. Like
somebody else did too. Like I hate him. He's the worst one. Queer free radio. And I'm cool. It's cool for me to say that.
With all due respect.
Just like they can have a show and say straight free radio.
And I'll be like,
they can do that. And I don't have to watch it.
No,
just like they don't have to watch it.
You mean gay for you said
well, I said if they had one.
He said right.
If they had a show and said straight free, just like we saying queer,
you would have the opportunity to
it's okay.
Oh,
like they can say that. They can say that. And that's what I meant.
I wouldn't make it through the credits.
Right. And you know, but that's what I meant.
So fast.
But that's what I meant.
Straight free radio. That
skin shouldn't be so soft. Right. Like, so what? Somebody said a name. They wasn't even talking to you. They weren't even looking at you when they said it. Like a motherfucker said it on TV. They wasn't thinking about you at home. They didn't disrespect you personally. You know what I mean?
And really, the real kind of inspiration to do this is me examining the Chappelle thing. Y'all know how I am with my black comedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. So when it comes to black comedy, it's something that I really love. I've always thought that black comics got to tell the story of Black America before anybody did, which directly connected with hip hop.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give me time. The bus don't pull up.
My bad.
Right. So look. So when we talk about black masculinity, and we talk about how we got to this point, right? And I think really the problem is that it became such a lost art. Because in order to be what they would consider a man, you have to be accountable. Accountability is so hard for a lot of brothers, and their situations get out of control. The situations get out of control, and you lose control of it. So I would say to brothers who want to talk this thing about this masculinity thing, make sure all your ducks are in a row. Like you can't have kids out here that you ain't taking care of. That's not cool. Right.
Within your control. Right. We got some terrible baby mamas out there that use the rules against you.
All that. But at least be trying.
But make your best effort. Yeah. But what we have is a result of what you're saying is we have some missing generations of men. Mm-hmm. Like when we start talking about mass incarceration, that took
during my time when I was
generations of fathers away. And subsequently, because the fathers were missing, there's no marriages. That's why we don't have too many big mamas either, right? Mm-hmm. So we have a generation or two or three of wisdom and knowledge to pass down to one another and nurture one another and you know what I'm saying. And
this generation,
and they've gone. They was taken away from mass incarceration and some and other.
Now hold on, we got some people saying that's toxic masculinity talk.
Well, okay, talk to first of all, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity.
That's what I'm saying.
But let's talk about that.
Okay, y'all calm down. You like bullshit. If y'all seeing your eyes right now, I'm biting your shit. They looking at me now like they want to jump me. No, that's Fatima Manson.
Yeah.
She said that's toxic masculinity talk.
What?
100. I don't know if she's agreeing with us about how we say people call us. They say, well, what we're doing right now, they would consider toxic masculinity. Because I endorse a man to be in charge of himself and his home because it's his job to live or die for it. So if anybody busts through the door, he's supposed to take the first 2 bullets at least. And maybe possibly throw 4 or 5 back. Right? That's his job. That responsibility don't lie on nobody else in that house.
If you're a man and somebody come and threaten your livelihood or threaten your home and you expect your wife to do something about it, come on, man. What do we call that?
Call that being a fucking
mask. That say to women, someone wise say one time, he said, your man first, when you have a problem, you don't have a man.
That's a good way to put it. And that's super true. Like
a man, the feminine energy is also neat. Okay. I mean, it's just as important. You know what I'm saying? These 2 energies are just as important. You know what I mean? Saying, look, I'm the boss. It's this, that, because you got a lot of controlling men out here like that. Like I said, I'm
gonna get into that with you
because you on TV saying, "But free,
they've taken all of the fathers off of television."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. All of the men was married to the black man was married to the black woman, and they have black children, and they're successful. They're all gone. They don't have those shows anymore. Now, even when you do have a father that's married, he's a buffoon. He's a fat, lazy, stupid buffoon
on TV,
on television, right?
On television.
This is how we're being portrayed, right? So even when you do have a father, and the closest thing that we have to anything that's relevant right now, in my opinion, is Blackish, right? Because they address some issues. But even then, he's the most masculine of fellows on the show. I'm not talking.
No doubt. Thank you for saying that.
You know what I mean? I like the show because they
soon as you said, you know, I was in my bag over here digging, like, but he just say black. The name of the shit is Blackish.
Well, I'm saying I said
that let me know not to watch.
The closest thing that you want to be offended. What's this bullshit they got coming up now with the Mixed-ish or whatever
it's extending it to grown-ish.
No,
but they already have grown-ish.
They got the grown-ish, but they got one that they're mixed kids, right? And they have a white father and a black mother, and they're mixed or some shit like that. Now listen. I think you went to the well one too many times. You see what I'm saying?
What if I come up with something called bullshit-ish? Right. Thank you.
White pinkish. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
Now hold that down because we have white people who like us, right? All 3.
I don't listen. If you like me because I tell the truth. There's no other reason for it.
It was time to just do a show for the brothers, man, for solidarity, man, for our unity's sake. Here's a plan I'm trying to create where we can all come here and just say whatever we want to say. We can get it off our chest, you know, if you're mature enough to articulate such, right? So once again, I go back to the Chappelle, and I look at the way Chappelle just taught us a very important lesson.
Brilliant.
I can make you very uncomfortable.
Brilliant.
And make you laugh at the same time.
And if you didn't laugh, you ain't being honest.
Right. You're a liar.
Come on.
And you too uptight and you're pretentious. You're over pretentious.
Probably take yourself a
right. And you probably a coon. I'm even gonna say that. That's how serious I am about it.
You know what? I know environments, and I'm the one that always fire off usually I'm the one that fire off the coon.
Yeah,
but since I know you're gonna be changing, I'm gonna stop saying coon and I'm gonna start calling them Negro pins.
Oh,
you are Negro pins to me. I was not calling you coons anymore, but believe me, when I say Negro pin, I'm thinking in my mind you a coon.
Explain Negro pin though. Well, people don't understand that.
And who participates, either knowing or unknowingly, in white supremacy.
And how so?
Oh, really? Okay, now because I'm thinking you just want me to explain it to the people. Okay,
so shit.
You have to know. It's the same thing we would call somebody a coon for, or we would call them an Uncle Tom, or we would call them a Sambo. Which is I always like to say, at least once in every show, I love black people who love black people. You others, not so much. So when I say you others, I mean those. I mean black people who don't love black people. They don't love themselves enough to love black people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying when you talk about the house nigga and the field nigga, when it's time to go, it's gonna be some niggas that want to stay on the planet. Them Negropeans, stay there. We's doing good. Well, y'all do good over there, and I don't have any animosity to
talk like that.
Yeah, let me tell you, if black people don't talk like that, a whole hell of a lot still act like that. So cut it out.
Shout out to Fatima Mason.
Yes,
that's actually my business partner.
Oh, that's what's up.
This new.
I thought she was going at us, and y'all got fired up for that.
But yeah, she's like I said, it's my new business partner, and we're actually having a demonstration tomorrow at the Sherman Phoenix, where we just got into the travel industry, right?
Okay.
And we like to show you how we can help you save and or write off your travel expenses and entertainment activities.
What time is the seminar?
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, everybody.
1 to what?
1 o'clock. 1 till about 2 o'clock,
right,
something like that. It may be about 1 till 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
At the Sherman.
Hey, listen.
At the Sherman Phoenix.
Come on, man.
Y'all hit like, hit share, hit follow.
Tomorrow, downstairs at the Sherman Phoenix.
Make sure y'all sharing the show. We're simulcasting. We have a YouTube page.
Peace.
You got to give it to People's Network on YouTube. That shit's paltry. It's poverty. I know. If you're looking at the kid, man, ain't nobody there. I know.
Everybody alone. No, don't leave us alone. Some of y'all, if you got some extra time or whatever, go and just subscribe to the YouTube. We know you're on Facebook. That's fantastic. And thank you. You know what I'm saying? But
So now we're coming into this thing as people of color in Southeastern.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go to YouTube and subscribe, and then you can go back to Facebook and watch.
Do both.
Just
whatever
subscribe.
Just
make sure you subscribe.
Go hit that number because
that matters.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So I want to talk about Tyrese West. I want to talk about the murder of Tyrese West. Like I was saying, this is the latest thing in southeastern Wisconsin where 85% of the people of color in this state union.
God bless you.
That's all number talk. You can go back and look at. That's all Googleable.
Yeah.
But
Googleable.
Right.
Listen, you heard that here first. That's our word. Go ahead.
So I want to talk about Tyrese West, who was from Racine? He was in Pleasant Prairie. He was riding a bicycle. He didn't have lights on it or something. Some police officer who has it's the same story. Some overzealous police officer just happens to meet up and see him. Then they said they tased him and they subdued him and they tased him and he was still resistant. So this officer ends up shooting him, basically. And the justification is that he had a gun on him and he had a criminal past, but he was on a bike. This is the initial reason for the sweat.
Shout out to Tory Lowe.
And I want to give Tory Lowe some props.
Yeah, no less.
Who's a friend of the show. It was a classic show, first of all.
Yes.
My brother here did his thing. Tory represented himself very well.
Absolutely.
It was one of them shows where we looked at each other like, man, we might have him.
It wasn't great. It
was so
and learned some things about Tory I didn't know before. I had made some assumptions about the brother. I had to come back and correct myself. So shout out to that brother.
And he talked about his commitment to advocacy on the show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This dude's in Chicago, Racine. He's everywhere. He's doing
every year. Don't he walk to Chicago?
Well, he did.
Every year.
And this year, he took our advice and I said, get a sponsor or something.
Yeah, he do it annually.
Right, yeah. So but he's everywhere with all the families inside the ring in the bullfight. I'm gonna tell you, your boy chose to get out of the bullfight. Like I've retired from any kind of activism like that. This show will be my furthest move towards activism. I'm not a person that wants to go to a rally. I don't want to go to no vigil. I don't want to go to none of it.
You want to talk about this?
No, so I'm just saying. Yeah, I had to get that shit out. So shout out to Tory Lowe.
I mean, I'm not trying to quiet you. I'm just saying, sure, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why I'm giving Tory Lowe his props because I'm not willing. I don't have the energy to do what he's doing.
Shout out Tory, yeah.
He's on every, like this dude done been to jail. I'm like, dude, you for real trying to be? What your job is? You a civil rights dude. Like that's how he going down in history with Martin. I'm like, oh, they got me dog.
When he say he was an activist, what did he say? What he call it? He wasn't an activist.
He was an advocate.
Advocate.
He said he's an advocate. Yeah. Shout out to Tory Lowe.
Shout out to him.
Do your thing, Playboy.
But having said that, like we gave the brother the love, and I mean it. And he's out. First of all, let's go into the thing a little bit more, because you said that the cop shot him, but what I understand, like it was an execution style type thing. And I don't claim to know all the rules about you know what I mean, all the facts and the details of what happened, but what I read about it was like you shot
to the back of the head.
Like this is some execution style type shit. Unless I got that wrong, for you to come back right and say that was justified. Right. It makes me to go back, and I have to ask a question to all the black people in America. And I got a couple sitting here with me, so I'm looking forward to hear what y'all have to say.
I'm mixed.
You is. But
I'm half Hawaiian.
You got a little bit of country and a little bit of rock and roll. But right. Like, because Tory, like, he's gonna march and he's going peaceful demonstration and shout out, bro. But at some point, what if white people don't? I'm asking this to black people that live in America. What if they decide to stop? What if they say, no, we're not gonna stop abducting and raping black women and children? We're not gonna stop because we know what's happening. What if they just come out and say, we're not gonna stop lessons? We're not gonna prosecute pedophiles. We're going to lessen the laws because these are things that are happening. But what if they just come and say it? We're not going to stop shooting black men dead in the street. We're not going to stop doing it. We're doing it. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to hang you motherfuckers when we catch you in the country, and we can hang you from a tree. We're going to hang you from a tree.
We're unrepentant.
Because they haven't stopped doing it. Right. So what I'm just saying, what if they come, because this is what it's going to take for you. So what if they just come out and say it, and they come out and say that there's different laws and consequences for us than there are for you? They just come out and say it. No, you can't control your own image. We're going to portray you the way we want to be. And that's the way it is. What then? What if they just come out and say it? Then what?
It sounds like yesterday. It sounds like Monday.
So I'm saying.
I think they been saying.
So
that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, so black people. Yeah, so if we're not gonna do shit, it's like the chick that's complaining about her nigga, and you ain't gonna go nowhere. Like you know he cheating, you know he doing it, but you ain't gonna do shit about it. So I don't want to hear your fucking mouth no more. Just shut up. You ain't gonna leave.
I told you it's a heterosexual male show, right? So relax.
I was watching a video from Brother James Small. You know what I'm saying? The great James Small. And his reaction, he was like, man, listen, they ain't respecting what's going on. They don't respect marching. They don't respect that. You know what I mean? He said, listen, if they take one of my kids, I'm gonna go to his house and I'm gonna take one of his. That's just how it goes. And this is James Small. Exactly. This is you know what I mean? This is just a conversation that I was watching on video. You know what I'm saying? And who knows? Maybe this is what needs to be done. Maybe we need to start fighting back like that. Okay, you take some of ours, we're gonna take some of yours. But then you got to look at it too. You know what I mean? Like, are we even ready?
No. I'm not claiming to have the answers, but I'm asking the question.
Right.
What, because at some point or another, if we're not willing to do nothing, if we're gonna just keep crying and moaning, shut up. Right. If we're not going, because at some point or another, stop. They done said it. They done put it in your face. They shot you in broad daylight. It was on camera. It was anything. If it was anything that March you had done, they don't respect your march. They make you pay to protest. They don't give a fuck about your march. And so while I realize some of us are doing this with good intentions and we have good hearts, they don't care about that. So now we have to figure out something else to do. So if I'm just saying, as a scenario in your mind, if they just come out and say, fuck you, we're going to keep murdering you, what are we going to do? Right. Does anybody have a solution? Because somebody got to come up with something, because really, in effect, I oversimplified it, but the fact of the matter is, that's what they've said.
Basically, I mean, first of all, I don't know how anybody expected something different to happen in this case. It's wishful thinking. It's a lot of optimism. You're saying, well, man, sooner or later, justice will prevail. Like, sooner or later, this game will change, but it hasn't. And nobody, and here's the, once again, slippage of Obama. You didn't step up and do something about this. Because we know Under Trump, under the Republican regime, there was no shot that it would be addressed at all. And it hasn't been addressed at all. There's not even a conversation about law enforcement reform or social justice reform in this country right now. It's not even a conversation. You know, with Obama, there was hopes that it would be conversation and things would be done legislatively to make it happen.
But, you know,
but
he said he ain't no black agenda.
Exactly. So, but even with the murders, you know, a lot of the worst ones, Trayvon and all this kind of stuff, this is Obama's watch. This is under his watch. So there's no proactive stance part to say no. One of the things I want to be remembered for the affordable health care, but I also want to be remembered as the black man who really initiated some law enforcement reforms in this country. Because I want this to change. I want this dynamic of I police your community, I'll over police your community, I will murder, rape, rob, beat, extort, manipulate, whatever to your community. And nobody gives a shit, right? This is the norm now in America. Like all the Mike Brown and all the riots, you think all the way back to the 60s, we've been rioting in Watts. So that's why you argue with brothers who say, okay, so you say, fuck it, let's tear this motherfucker up then. Look at the guys we had here. Who's really won behind that?
They did. They got every store you burnt down is bigger and better than it was before.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying.
And guess who's patronizing the new, bigger, and better store?
At some point or another, if we are unwilling to unite, we're going to continue to die. And let me tell you, as much as we got on Kanye for saying that's a choice, as a people, as a group, that's a choice we're making. Because we refuse to unite with one another. We refuse to financially support each other. We refuse to give the benefit of the doubt. We support the oppressors. Like anytime there's a black person out doing something in the community trying to fight back, it's black people that's opposing this. So as long as that's happening, we're gonna continue to die. And because we won't do it, it is a choice.
Shout out to my boy Rashid Farrakhan.
And I want to
shout out to Rashid Farrakhan because Rashid was a good dude. Rashid is a good dude. First of all, let me say that. Rashid was a CO at the jail and he snapped out. He had a bad day at work, whooped on the little prisoner's ass for laughing at him. And they gave him 60 days in the house of correction, man. And he was a man, why you make me laugh, boy?
I don't know what made me laugh.
So he was a CO, right? For like 20 years and shit. So he just one bad day, man. He whooped up on the brother in jail, and he didn't kill him.
But you know
he
what?
Just beat him in the stomach.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you though, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you that may not have been his first time either.
Well, you know, I'm not here to throw stones, right?
I'm not either. I'm speaking from what I've seen.
Right, but I'm saying
I don't remember. When I was in jail, anytime I went to jail, I never saw an officer beat somebody, and that was the only person he ever beat.
Oh no, that's just
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's just like you get caught cheating one time. That was the one and only time you did it.
Okay. You know,
right. Yeah. But you know what? Listen, I'm sorry.
Hold on. I want to shout. Can I shout? It's my partner, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, I got love for this man. It's my brother, man.
Hopefully, he wasn't no brother.
Well, then wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, this was your guy, the correctional officer, dude. That's your guy.
If I'm allowed to finish my statement,
please.
Talk all over.
Please,
all over me. I don't want to hear nobody else complaining about nothing. No, shout out to Rashid Farrakhan. And I'm saying this is because I've known Rashid. I've known him for a very long time, and he's a good brother. Bad situation, whatever, bad day. He got 60 days in the house of correction. I just want to say, shout out to brother. Hold your head, man. You know what I'm saying? And now it's different when you come out. Now it's different because now you, for so long, look how long you policed and kept. Now you're gonna be in there. So you know, shout out to the brother, man. Prayers for him. Hope he come out safe and all that. Because I know he snapped that day, but I seen him run youth football leagues. I seen him work with kids. I've been around him in the neighborhood at community events. He's a good dude.
And who knows? You know what I'm saying? The brother he fought may have started this shit.
No, they said he was just laughing at him.
You know what I'm saying?
He's just laughing at him.
Well, that ain't no reason to beat nobody.
Well, that's why he going to the house correction for 60 days.
You know, again, we need to do this self-work. You know what I'm saying? We need to do some self-work. Like, laughing at a motherfucker ain't no reason.
No, we're not laughing.
I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about him in the situation.
Yes, sir.
Like laughing at a motherfucker or them laughing at you ain't for you to create other fucked up shit to happen in your life.
To discuss it, that's the problem with it. Because when it becomes Brody, like, nah, you know, I'm so masculine. Like, I beat your ass.
And I'm the guard.
I'm Debo type shit. That's why that character of Debo resonated to black people so much, because there was always somebody there who was taking man. Now that's toxic masculinity. When it goes so far that you just want to use whatever brawn you have to take from other people, including women.
So is it masculine? Let me ask you: Do we categorize it as masculinity because it has something to do with physical strength?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, as a man who's expressing that behavior, I would refer to it as some sort of masculinity.
If it was a woman doing the same thing,
it would be some sort of femininity.
I wouldn't think. No, I would think it would still be toxic masculinity if it was a woman.
You just ask a question and answer that motherfucker.
I asked the question. I asked the question here. The question got answered over here, and so I addressed it. Right. I asked you a question, full answer. Right.
No look, alley-oop
to himself.
Now, what was your point there?
No, I thought you had it written down already.
Listen, you said my mama used to say you thought like Freddie. Freddie thought he farted, but he shitted.
Right.
Anyway.
Yes, sir.
That's what you thought. But anyway,
no, I think you know, and I don't. We said we don't like that term, right? I don't like the term rape culture either, because, you know, I don't think rational human beings live in a rape culture. Like, I think if you're rational, rape is something that's unacceptable. So it doesn't matter how many songs you hear or how many movies you see, you know it's wrong. So rational, logical people don't engage in that kind of behavior. Savage people do. Right?
There you go.
I don't think they dominate society, because every man's not a rapist.
Well, actually, the savage do dominate society right now.
So you think most dudes out here are rapists?
No, but you don't.
I'm talking about like the government, these motherfuckers in these high positions.
But they're not the majority. They're the minority.
I'm talking about on a man level, when we talk about heterosexual males and our relationship with women. Maybe I should have clarified that. But I'm saying, like, every man is not a rapist. Right. And every man ain't intrusive and just grabs all on your shit, makes you feel uncomfortable. I would argue that majority of the men, black men that you meet, real dudes, they're not like that at all. So when you say rape culture, it sounds like to me you force something.
That's another title that's given us a way to portray us.
Right.
Yeah, that's another way to portray us.
That's what I was trying to say, what he said. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
But really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember going up to Green Bay. Like, you look at the news in Green Bay and you look at the news down here.
Right.
Totally different. The news in Green Bay, you see a bunch of rapes going on the news up there. There ain't a lot of murders and everything.
Meth overdoses?
Here, yeah, all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? But here, you don't see so many rapes. And then even when you do, more than likely, it's a white person. You know what I mean? On the news.
White.
Straight up. You know what I mean? So you look at the culture. I believe this here can be a culture thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It derives from that culture, that animalistic behavior that they portrayed.
So you think we do have a rape
years
culture?
ago?
You think
we don't?
But there is one.
Yeah, I think there is one.
What you think about the rape culture?
We don't.
I think that we have. If I can expound even a little bit on the word rape, I think we have a pedophilia culture going on right now, and it has nothing to do with us. We got people that are actually passing laws to make pedophilia more acceptable. That's us. That's not us. We know who that is. Exactly. Would you say, what's her name? Betty White. So we understand who that is, but it's not that it's not that a majority. It's that they're the minority. Now, what's this dude that recently got killed in jail, and he's supposed to have all these high-profile connections and shit like that? Really imagine. Now, not what's being reported, not what you heard, but just imagine the kind of despicable things that was going on his little island, where they was having kids, Caligula statues of kids, and So this is when you talk about the Vatican, when you talk about Catholicism, this is in their nature, this is in their culture. They are the minority, but they are in positions to pass laws and do those things. Now, when you have, just like the house niggas on many different levels, they always try to emulate, they want to be like the masters. We have a lot of niggas that have participated and taken on some of their masters' attributes. Right, and that's how it trickles down to us. When they talk about the trickle down theory, it ain't money.
Look, I was talking to some Hebrew Israelites.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Hebrew Israelites.
Exactly.
Okay.
They believe we're the people that was in the Bible.
You
know what I mean? They think we went through slavery and we going through all this because we was cursed.
The curses in Deuteronomy.
That's what they think, right?
But then we got the promises of Deuteronomy coming to us.
But that ain't
that reinforce the law of Ham.
But that ain't the point.
Some of it does, yes, sir. But they don't consider us Ham because they say the Hamites are the Africans. We're not Africans.
Right. So they don't even like Africans.
No, they don't. We are Israelites.
Okay.
And let me tell you, and I'm
just trying to be from capital.
No, well, no. That's when they want you to be from capital. That means you don't got no history.
But that wasn't my point. I was going.
No, I'm sorry. We didn't mean to derail you. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I was. We was talking about pedophilia.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And like I say, I was talking to some Israelites, and they was talking about how somewhere in the Bible, I'm not sure exactly where. You might help me with this. And they were saying that it may be the version that they follow, and it said that God said it's okay for them to take 10-year-olds. As long as they can have a period, they can be wives. And then you see this also in some cultures, like Indian cultures and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So like really, we was infected with this. It's a religion. This thing is, you know what I mean? We was taught religion, and this stuff is in this religion is. There's a difference, and if I may, and I'm sorry, there's a difference between cultures where you have girls or young women who are legally able to wed, right, to be taken as a wife, versus demonic cults where they have sex and actually sacrifice these children. See what I'm saying? This is not arranged marriages where you have this 12, 13-year-old girl and she's taken as a wife to be taken care of. And so this is not. And I'm saying all that just to say that this ain't our culture.
No, it's not.
That ain't us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I tried to.
And you know what I mean? Like I say, they preaching this. But this ain't us. But how can you say that this is us, but they preaching it? So you actually saying that this is okay?
Well, it's us because we follow them. So what we have is we have these Baptists, we have these Lutherans, we have this Church of God in Christ, we have all of these different denominations that derive from Catholicism. The Bible they read is the Bible that the Catholics gave them to read.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Which don't even include all of the books that they have in their books.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you have these, they going after the same way they take at the white people take advantage of the black people, and you have certain gatekeepers or boule or whatever you want to call them. They use that formula to use that formula to take advantage of other black people. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we have.
But you know, in the sense of like really giving a salute to heterosexuality, in particular black heterosexuals.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to salute
really back.
We finna take off.
Brothers who a long time ago kind of set the trend for us to be black men. And this is a group of brothers they're from all over the country, but they were in a group called the Black 14. This is a group from the 60s that a lot of people don't know about, in which somehow, some way they had ended up, and this is kind of like when college football became integrated. They ended up at the University of Wyoming, and they had all these great black players from different areas. And the players had immediately improved the team. They were winning. They won the Cotton. They had started out 4-0. They were getting ready to play BYU. And the black players decided that they didn't want to go to BYU and play because of the racist treatment they would always receive in Utah at the hands of the BYU fans. There was also attention called to the racist practices of the Mormon religion at that time, which wouldn't allow black men to be, priests or whatever. And
marry their daughters.
They taught that the black people had tails at night and this kind of thing.
When they the ones that actually have tails.
So they went to the school one year and played, and they experienced this racism, and they decided they was going to band together and not play. And as a social justice statement, they wanted to tie black armbands around their band arms.
Okay.
And this coach that they had, who had brought all of them there, instead of him not supporting them, he like berated them. Like he got them all in a meeting and told them that none of them will make it in life because he had rescued them from single parent homes and they had no fathers, so they had no guidance, and that was part of their problem. And then after that, he kicked all of them off the team. Right? The team ended up losing. He lost his job. The rest is history. But this old racist dude never even apologized to these brothers. And they're just getting their just due now. And you're getting to hear that story now about the Black 14. And there's millions of stories like that from the 60s and the 70s when brothers was really laying things down on the line to sacrifice so that we can improve our quality of life.
When we care about the next generation.
And that's one more reason to preserve masculinity, because that's what it does. If it does nothing else, it secures legacies, whether it's a good legacy or a bad legacy. My brother always says, sins of the father, right? So that legacy is what it is. It's cemented by masculinity, whether it was use your powers for good or bad. And this is why I have such a problem with gay people and straight people alike, who have this open love everybody attitude, and they in turn treat me like a slave on a plantation. You better not say fag. You better not offend them gay people. They gonna get us. I'm like, whoa.
So when you say masculinity, if you were to break that down and dumb it down as much as you can, are we talking about phallic symbols? Are we talking about
that?
No, because when you talk, no. Okay, so what you have is that you have the Washington Monument, right? Which is what it's called a phallic symbol, right? And it's okay. You know what I mean? If you don't understand until you do.
No, I get what I'm saying. Yeah, we get it.
So when
I'm not the picture you just showed.
I'm just saying. So when you start talking about masculinity, what you talking about? What's the symbol for masculinity?
It ain't that.
It's not.
It's not that. That's not what I use as a picture.
What is?
I use like a fist or like a dude making a muscle.
Let me tell you, that's not what they use. That's not what they use.
And then walk away from me on that.
It's okay. You'll be back.
Y'all don't want to see that picture.
Yeah, listen, if you want to see the picture, go to the People's News Network. I'm going to post a picture.
Word?
Yes, go to the People's News Network. I'm going to post a picture of what I just showed them, along with a couple more to support my point. And you tell me what you think. Please answer.
Whatever sense you go on to make out of it after this will never take the shock of me. And you saying, look at this.
It's art. It's not. It wasn't. It's art. Go look at it. Go look at it.
No, it was a real picture. You know what I mean?
Go look at it.
But it was just funny, the timing and all. You know what I'm saying?
It's like you call your homie and say, hey, go check this out.
No, we sitting here, we talking about it. I didn't call you over.
You like, look, man, you actually
That's
like
what it is. That's real. That's how racism started. It's called envy.
But yeah, man, talking about the whole heterosexuality thing, you know what I mean? Just
that was what we was talking about.
It's an interdependence thing. You know what I mean? The masculine and feminine energy. You know what I mean? They both need each other. When one was made, the other one was in mind. You know what I'm saying? So it was something that was all.
I don't know why we make things so complicated. I don't understand why there's a need to complicate men and women. I'm not. Please don't ask me to look at nothing else on your phone. Like real talk. I said,
now you got to post both pictures, right? So they can see.
Absolutely.
You got to see both.
Shit has sunk the show, right? But now, man, I just think we overcomplicate things, and if you are a man, do what a man should do, right? If you want to wear the title, like if you want to really walk around like, yeah, I'm a man, then there's certain things you need to be handling every day, from hygiene to diet to your children, how your money, how you pay attention to your money. If you out here you having money but you blowing it, the man, that's not manly. That's feminine. You shopping, right? You shopping. A man thing is to say, no, let me build and fortify. And I'm guilty of being a young dude with money and thinking I'm the man instead of being a man.
Right.
So I'm saying, let's be real men. Let's be those kinds of men to a certain degree that our fathers were, our grandfathers were, to a certain degree. Let's be those type of men who would say, I have no excuses. I will sacrifice for my family. I want to make sure everybody's taken care of. And then we can do all that extra shit on the side.
Right.
You know what I mean? But don't be out here hollering this man shit, because you messing it up for good dudes. You walk around like, yeah, I heard the heterosexual male show last night. But where your kids? I ain't seen no motherfuckers in years. Like, come on, at least call them on Christmas and stuff. Man, do your best. And if you can't, be honest about it. Be like, man, shit, I got kids, but she won't let me see them motherfuckers. So I just pay child support.
Right.
Because if you can admit that, we can say, well, bro, let's come up with a plan to get your boy here for the summer. As my partner, we can do that. So it's just about being a man. If you say you one, you got to be one. You can't be a man and then on the under go around the corner and like play with another man's ball.
You're a man on
and
Facebook.
Be like, I'm still a man, right?
You're
like,
a man on Facebook.
Right. So that was the whole point of the show.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Let's stop associating the word free with gay. This is how they managed to skip ahead us in this line, right? Because all of a sudden this word, now that you're living, and I listened, I wanted to count it. Every time I heard it on the Breakfast Club, a bell kept ringing in my head. Every time they said,
shot
free, I would have never made it to fucking work. I was on my way to work. You wanted me to pull up at your house and one like, hey, Jay.
You ought to have been with it though, right? You know I'd have been with it.
So now, man, the assault is real. And me as a black man, the one thing, I tell kids, I coach this all the time. You got control of two things in life, if nothing else. One is your attitude, two is your effort. No matter what's happening, you can control both of those things.
You sound like a life coach. That's what's up.
I am the Negro whisperer.
That was profound, brother. That was profound.
So it's all about the energy. And I learned this from these brothers. Now I'm way more sensitive to it because now I don't even like to go in a bar. Because I go in there and it's weird. And I'm like, let's see that. What's that purple shit over there?
I go in the bar. I don't have no problem.
What's that? I don't feel comfortable. Like I'd be like, I don't need to. I'm telling me I don't need to be in here.
You know, I go in a bar. I feel this energy. I can feel it. I go in there. You know, you figure, okay, when you're drinking alcohol, first of all, you're lowering your vibrations down. You know what I mean? So then when you go in this place,
now you gotta imagine
in the room. That too. You know what I mean? You got to remember you here with everybody else. So if you around all these negatives, your positive is gonna become a negative. You outnumbered. Your energy, they outdoing.
Are you ever one to be able to get to the point where you are light and you walk into the room of darkness and raise their level instead of yours being lowered?
In the sober room.
That can only happen in the sober room.
You know what I'm saying? Well, see. No, it can't only happen in the sober room.
You walk in with a blunt, the
difference in the bar is this, right? You go in the bar, you got the music going. Right. You know what I mean? You got women looking for the niggas with the money. Yeah. You got niggas with the money looking for the fat asses. They ain't paying attention too much of what's coming in. You know what I'm saying? And then by them being this so under the influence, I should say, they can't really see it. You know what I mean? If you vibrating up here, they can't feel you. I go conversate with people in the bar. They don't want to hear what I got to talk about.
No, they want to talk.
They want to talk about the fat ass. And, you know what I'm saying? So that energy, it don't match my energy because I'm not coming for that. You know what I'm saying?
What do you go in the bar for?
I don't.
Well, that's my point.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you're in there,
because I can't go. I mean, that's what people looking for, and that's the energy that I don't like. That energy pulls mine down. The women that's there, if I talk to a woman, I know she just wants something from me.
Yeah, you know
what I'm saying? So I can't even
genuinely,
you know what I mean? I can't even genuinely interact. So I can't even genuinely interact with her. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's something that she's trying to get
to be more and more women that you meet, period, not even outside the bar?
Well,
because a lot of mindset of women, they a lot of them want something.
So they ain't pick and say too.
But the thing is this. But the thing is this. What do they want? You know what I mean? That's the problem what I have.
Whatever
you know what I'm saying? They want something. They want to know what I can give them.
Right.
What I can do for them physically.
What you drive.
You know what I'm saying?
Where you work.
And so that they don't want.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you want something from them too?
If they want, you know what I'm saying, is positive, masculine energy. You know what I mean? These things that I can bring to the table, what I bring to the household, morally, how I can help them spiritually, how I can help them mentally. You know what I'm saying? The trust, the loyalty. They want this type of stuff. I can dig that. but I can't go get that conversation in the bar.
Shouldn't she want something
So
from
I
you,
don't,
though?
you know what I mean? I refrain.
I'm asking the question.
Of course she should.
And shouldn't you want something from her?
And that's what I'm saying.
Shouldn't you expect?
And I want the same in return. Like I say, I want the real shit. I want the shit money can't buy.
Right. But
you know what I mean? Something. But they want the stuff that money can buy, so they can't even get with what I'm talking
First of all, ain't that an acting out type behavior though? Because
possibly
even the ones who acted out, like, come on, like the dude who she gonna choose is who she's gonna choose. Sometimes he's the brokest man in the room. That's how broke dudes come up. Because they catch one like that, man. I don't even know why she chose.
You gotta have her conversation though.
It's many different ways.
Right.
Many different ways.
You gotta be able to talk.
I agree with what you're saying.
You gotta be able to communicate.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I don't think it's as absolute. It's just
I'm speaking in terms of me.
Absolutely, but and so
I can't say that for everybody.
No, strange things can happen. The truth is sometimes stranger than fiction. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. You know, you can have two people that ain't supposed to be there meet and they there. You know what I'm saying?
That's very possible.
That kind of thing happens.
I believe in that.
So you know, it's I get what you're saying though. Absolutely.
Yeah, but for the most part, I can't dig it.
If I don't smoke, I don't go in a hookah bar. You know what I'm saying?
Why would I go in there?
Right. If you don't drink, the bar is probably not your ideal situation.
I don't want to do that. Yeah. So, but y'all seen that now we have the additional funding being provided from the city to my brother Caleb Hayward's company, who continues to build on the Icon Hotel, the renovation of the Sears /
so $9 million
Milwaukee Mall building. It's up to 15 total.
15 now?
$15 million of investment money. And a lot of people saying, and now this is the MKE Plaza that they want to make. That's questionable because of where it's at, because we know that that's a high traffic, high crime neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So the investment,
they finna move them out of there, man. That's what I was finna say. You know they finna move them out of there. That's why they doing that.
The investment was risky at best, even when they voted for it, because a lot of them were saying we don't really want to vote because it's a project by and large that involves something that's going to be very important, which is the black dollar. Hey! Because 80% of the money that's supposed to be generated, the revenue from this is from food and beverage.
They haven't redlined you out yet.
Well, there'll be restaurants and it's a hotel. The Icon itself will be a hotel, but the plaza will have restaurants and some retail shops, and they're going to dress that whole area where they make it urban.
So there's opportunity until they figure out a way to take the opportunity away from you. But right now is a crack.
Well, no, right now it's a black man who's procured a sizable investment in city funds, and part of this comes from tax incremental funds, which we know created the HOP. So when we say, well, why aren't any of those tax incremental funds being placed into our community? Here's an example of it. His brother Kalen Hayward has purchased the Red Snappers and brought that.
Hope there are many more examples of it.
Right. Well, I'm just looking at his model because he's up to bat. He's up to bat. I'm not gonna say fuck him because ain't other dudes.
Not at all. Not at all.
I want to give him his props because
Teach don't trust shit.
I've heard that.
Well, let me tell you, it got to be one before it can be two, right? So I'm looking for two. Right.
I've heard the counter arguments from certain individuals who I respect a lot that are in the development game that understand the funding and all this. They had some things to say about some things about him, but I'm not really into that. I'm not really into hating when a brother got his progress built up. I think for a fact that area has needed renovation for a very long time. The central city of Milwaukee, shame on every politician that we have. I don't think people really understand the disparity that exists from 15th and Burleigh to 5th and State. I don't think you understand. It's like going from one world into another. And I'm telling you, there's no excuse to have a metropolis built downtown and the project's 5 minutes away from it, and even worse, because there's such a large footprint for government housing, for subsidized public housing down there. HUD's coming through. They're doing their thing. I get all that. I can't go into detail with that information for certain reasons. But I'm just saying, right now, if you're a politician, you shouldn't look downtown and smile. You should look at Keith. You should look at Burleigh, Cherry, Belief, the low end. Mm-hmm. You should look at Ghost Town. You should look at Atkinson, where I grew up at, the corridor from Capitol to Atkinson, which had bars, karate schools, barbershops, hardware stores, corner stores, is dead now. Only thing still going is the barbershop.
Victory
and the corner store.
Victory for them.
Even KFC is gone. Now it's a tobacco store. So as long as we have districts and areas in our city like this, Ashanti's over there. And
Ashante, good job.
Right.
You really deserve that raise you gave yourself. Good job.
No doubt, right? So I'm just saying, you know, as a black man, and this is the extension of the heterosexual male, is that he has to be accountable and he has to also become politically aware so that he can lead his family in the right way, or those that he is responsible for, which means you have to understand civics and you have to understand the laws of the society that we live in. Not galactic laws, not well, I live on a spiritual, not them laws. I'm talking about the laws that we are governed by here in this country. We have to understand them, because if we don't understand them, we can never fight them back. Our problem is we got a certain amount of us who know a lot, then we got a lot of us who don't know shit. And they do that willingly. It's not because they can't learn. They choose. I've seen surveys of black people. Do you vote? Are you legal? Are you right? Yes. Do you? No. Now, for people who say fuck vote, but if we're gonna get together politically and say, let's put our vote over here, then that means we're talking, we're communicating, we're building, we're establishing an agenda.
Right.
Until we start doing that, this America shit ain't gonna work for us. It's not working. That's the biggest thing. It's not working for us.
Right. Hey, check this out. Right. Like, I'm one of the dudes that I ain't gonna vote. Right.
Okay.
Because only reason I don't vote is because I don't see a politician that I like. But this time I will vote for Lena Taylor because I like her.
Locally, I was gonna say,
what I'm saying? Like locally, I could dig it. You know what I'm saying? And also, even though I don't vote, if we gonna collectively come together and we gonna say this how we moving, and this is one of the things that's on there for us to go vote, I'm gonna go do it because this is what we collectively say we gonna go do. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, we all doing what the fuck we want to do, and ain't no collective type of demonstration.
A lot of people don't agree with me on that. I think you should vote, though, especially local. I really believe that's important.
I can see that.
There's a lot of black people who say, man, that shit don't mean that. They tell me that.
I have better understanding for local voting. But even with that, you know what I'm saying? I just think it ought to be politicians in there who we train, who we groom into being that for us.
Once we start voting, we'll start building the politicians that should be.
Let me tell you, we've been voting. Listen, we've been voting. Barack Obama got elected because we voted.
He said Barack.
Yeah.
Black people stood up and said.
And because we voted, right? So and you know what we got? Nothing. Right? So
my brother's keeper.
They're nothing. So what we got is you have
was he a worse president than Trump?
No.
Okay, so we got something.
Not to Trump.
So we got something out of it.
No, okay.
He wasn't as bad as Trump.
Now let's go back. Was he? And this is legitimate questions, and I'm curious.
Because when we didn't vote, we got Trump.
What? No, but wait. Was he a worse president than Clinton?
Well, we voted.
Wait.
That's a good question.
Was he a worse president? Was he a worse president than Carter? Was he? Because he's a black man. We expected him to be for black people.
I don't think he was worse than Clinton. I think Clinton.
Let me tell you, Clinton put a lot of niggas in jail.
Clinton had the mass incarceration, and that's why I reached back a little further and said Carter. Right.
So yeah, he's better than Clinton just because of mass incarceration.
Yeah. Okay,
but under Jimmy Carter,
he don't touch Carter.
Well, he couldn't even get us out of the recession. So I think Barack got us out of the.
Let me tell you, but what you find out,
he didn't get us out.
What you find out later on, though, is that there was some underhanded bullshit going on by the Republicans. When you talk about Jimmy Carter, they had these motherfuckers. You talk about Reagan went and had a deal made with Iran to hold the hostages until after the election. So you got some fuckery going on. So I'm just saying. But as far as somebody who genuinely tried to reach back and help everybody. And I'm a little older, so I'm gonna say.
I remember Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter did his thing, and he's 90 and 99 and a half right now, and I'm still doing stuff for people. Work. So Barack was black, right? You know, but he had no black agenda. At least Jimmy Carter, I can say.
Do we really just? I don't think we got to put that much pressure on.
Well, they're both Democrats.
I don't think we got to go back.
Well, he compared himself to Ronald Reagan.
Let's compare him to Teddy Roosevelt.
He compared himself to Ronald Reagan. What's the difference?
No, he admired Ronald Reagan.
Okay, so he should have admired Jimmy Carter, which was the president that was before Reagan.
He didn't. I don't know if he admired Jimmy Carter.
Well, you know, you won't know because he didn't say his name, but he sure said Ronald Reagan did this.
I ain't watched that show.
You wouldn't know if he endorsed one and said nothing about the other.
I don't know what he says about Jimmy Carter.
Well, I just told you.
Just the information that knowing that he fumbled on the economy, and then the hostage shit. Some of the shit wasn't his fault, but he fumbled it, and Reagan came in and did what he did. You know, Jimmy Carter's one term.
Reagan came. What did he do? He came in and did what he did.
He came in and
killed the union.
Right. He came in and bought the cocaine and he did what he did.
Oh, well, okay. Congratulations. Hey, I guess
I'm just saying the man came in and did what he did.
Hey, good job.
I didn't say it was good or bad. I said he lost and Reagan came in like,
the Almighty decided for you to have Alzheimer's and you not even be able to remember what you did.
Well, he did now. So.
And before he was dead, he had Alzheimer's, and he is alone.
Well, that was the last 5 years of his presidency.
He is alone.
He had a lot of jelly beans.
He did a lot of bullshit.
And it was presidents that was worse than him. Like, you can go back. Presidents who wouldn't even approach. You talking about somebody like Eisenhower, who was just like, fuck niggas, period. And a lot of presidents
Nixon fucked up so bad, he erased shit.
Right. Nixon was just...
Where the black marker at?
Nixon was on tape like, them greasy motherfuckers.
Hey, that motherfucker was in his office.
You were like his worst devils? I'm like, yeah, I know.
Nixon on tape like, fuck them niggas. James Brown with his greasy ass came over.
Record over that part.
Yeah, it was a lot of pink devils. I agree.
I would like to call them former presidents. But no, my thing is
former pink devil president.
So when you become accountable to vote, I think it's just a level of accountability to say, if I'm gonna vote, I'm gonna demand certain things from the person who wants my vote. So I won't vote for you blindly. Then I need to know if you support a black agenda. I need to know, because we fell for that with Barack. And if there was anything lost with Barack, is the fact that we allowed him in once he did these things. First of all, he said there would be no black agenda. Then he disavowed himself from Louis Farrakhan. And then he said, I'm everybody's president. And at the time, they was calling him niggas, putting dick prints on his wife's pictures on the internet. So the fact that he wanted them to love him so much and be this kind of whatever they thought and we missed out on the opportunity to do law enforcement reform, which is why we end up with Tyrese West getting murdered and the cop getting off, because there's no change in that system. That system been broken forever.
Can you imagine a black dude shooting a white dude in the back of the head and getting off?
Right.
And then so
he ain't gonna make it to jail.
And I'd also like to ask you, who has a black agenda? We got Kamala Harris and all these, and they shuffling and trying to break dance and all the bullshit. Who? Because we talked about who doesn't have a black agenda. Who does have one?
Who have demanded have one?
No, I'm asking you.
That's my answer. We don't have one because we haven't demanded that.
So then in effect we shouldn't vote, because you said if you want my vote, I should demand that you have a black agenda. So with no one having a black agenda, we shouldn't vote.
We got to pull them collectively together first, right?
That's true, and that should be the methodology. Unfortunately, it
won't work.
If we do that, if we don't vote, this shit gonna get worse.
It won't work. It's gonna get worse. It won't work. It doesn't matter what you vote.
I don't want to see Trump get reelected.
It will not work until we have our own party.
I don't want him to have another term. So I would tell people, do what you got to do to get this dude out.
I don't think it matters.
I think it does. I think Trump's global agenda makes it applicable to all races.
I don't think Trump is making any decisions. He's doing what he's told to do. Trump is not smart enough.
I think the fact that Trump has tariffs and he has us in a global, not a national, a global trade war with tariffs and all this kind of thing. And it goes against a lot of the people who actually voted for him in the first place. They've lost benefits. They've lost their farms. So I say his decision making is a fact. It's like, okay, we knew this is the greatest thing about doing a podcast or doing a radio show. You can go all the way back to 5 years ago, before he was elected. The one thing we said on this show is, it's really not going to make a difference to black people one way or another what Trump does, because there's never been a president that was good to us anyway.
Democrat or Republican.
This can be a chance to do something great, because we're truly going to be left out in the wilderness. We have to come together now. We're going to have to do us under Trump. So we thought that could be an upside, but halfway through, man, I don't know if we've adjusted. I'm a little disappointed in Milwaukee personally. And it's not just it's an overarching thing, because I feel like our mentality and our vibrations, as you call them, haven't ramped up. We're not receptive. Like, I see people trying to do positive stuff like this in community,
and that's how
and it's just like, get out of here with that.
First thing you do to raise your vibrations is watch what you put in your mouth.
I would agree. You should be careful what you put in your mouth. I would agree with that. I think that's a very true statement. That's like a #1 rule of life.
We're a free show.
Right.
After you done pulled out your
masculinity.
After you done pulled out your
and show 2 statues.
He had some hotel porn.
It was definitely hotel. I don't know if you would call it porn. The People's News Network. Go on there and you'll see what it is.
What y'all think
about
about
him in such an uproar?
What y'all think about the brother? What you think about the Icon coming book? Because I know you love to roam through the community and go to different shit like this. What you think about the Icon and the MK Plaza coming right on Fond du Lac?
I like to see what it do. I think it'll be dope if it's for us. You know what I mean? And it sticks like it stays like that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something like that could be like. I always said the Milwaukee Mall was a start, right? It was a start. It was an idea. You know what I mean? Dig. I'm talking about as far as like a place for businesses, small businesses to come and get a start. You know what I mean? That was an idea. It didn't work. You know what I mean? But okay, from that, then we moved some years ahead. Now we got the Sherman thing. Which is actually doing something. And you know what I'm saying? It's actually a spot now, you know what I mean, for black people to go, a positive thing. So like I think that may be the next. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a hotel going on, that's a lot of jobs. Like we can walk across the street and get to work.
Now you know
what I mean? It's like you say, it's gonna be more restaurants and all type of stuff. So that's more action for us too. You know what I mean? So I like it, you know.
Shout out to my brother Wayne Richards. He said Marianne Williamson has a black agenda. He said she has a reparation plan. I'm unfamiliar with her.
So talk that, brother, because that's somebody I would go.
I want to go. Is it Googleable?
Is it Googleable? Yeah, I want to look that up.
Googleable. Is it Googleable? And I want to say this, man. And we won't do a show Saturday night because your boy got to hit the highway. But and that's why we've kind of gone long tonight. But from a hip hop perspective, it's so funny right now to see the boy Tekashi 6ix9ine just tell on anybody. Like if you out there right now,
they thought was gonna happen.
If you've ever done anything wrong around this dude, you probably getting told on. So here's the deal. Once again, when we see this as men, and everybody was questioning us, we said he has rainbow hair, he has tattoos. This don't even look like. And you supposed to be gangster? I don't buy this clown shit. This is not what the streets is. It can't be what the streets done came to. So we looked at it as men and we said, nah, man, that's some clown shit, the way he's behaving. And people were starting to slowly but surely jump on that bandwagon. And as soon as this shit all falls through and the convictions and the trials start, this dude's on the air telling on everybody. On the stand, I should say. Telling on everybody. Like, did we not say that this would happen? Did we not look at him and say, dude ain't no street, dude?
Nah.
Man, he'll be the first. So our youth, a lot of them who bought into this, I hope they watching the whole movie.
Yeah. You know, our youth don't understand what's going on or how serious that shit is. You know what I mean? They think it's just a music video. But man, when you get in that motherfucking cell, knowing you may not come home for a long time,
that shit
nigga, that shit get real. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, that shit get real, man.
I believe
when gangsters cry, when thugs cry. Listen, Prince would be singing this when thugs cry.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
And not to put you on blast, but I know you know. Like I'm not to put you on blast, but I know you.
Real, man.
Because when you said it, you said it was like
that pat.
Hey,
you know, I think about when I first started my bit. You know what I'm saying? And thinking to myself, damn, I got all this time to do.
What the fuck am I
that
doing?
moment right there, like you know how long you finna be gone.
Calendar.
Then you look at this room.
Damn, no fucking room.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
So all you could do then is make the best of it, man. I mean,
take you a while.
Or 69 they ass.
How long?
Take 69 they ass.
Just tell everybody. Tell on everybody.
Tell on everybody.
I'll be home by Friday, mama.
How long did it take you, man? Not that you ever are comfortable, right? But how long did it take you to adapt?
I don't know. I'll say after about a month, you know what I mean, you get in the groove of things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really a schedule all day long. It's different stuff you do all day long. And you could get in your own pattern of what you do all day. And you get comfortable in that. You focus on what you got to do. It's different classes you could take. You may be on a basketball team at the gym, or you know what I'm saying? So it's different stuff you involve yourself in to keep your mind off the streets so much.
So it's like college.
Yeah, basically, yeah, right.
But
only
you can't wear an orange suit.
Yeah, and you can't go nowhere.
Right. all your games is home games.
Yeah, you got all home games. You can't leave the campus. You know what I'm saying?
I hope if you took anything from our conversation, I hope that you understood that it's cool to be a heterosexual. I'm unapologetically hetero.
I'm unapologetic.
I refuse to apologize.
I think that's unanimous.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to apologize for being a man to the world, to society at large. Like if I'm doing something that that's just so, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm happy. Two things I'm happy to be. One is black and one is a man.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I love both of them things, unconditionally, and I won't apologize for either one of them. But I do know my boundaries, and I do understand that I'm not living in the caveman, barbarian, Jim Crow, Reconstruction, color purple South. So I understand that to have a black woman, you must cherish, respect, and protect that black woman. Mm-hmm. And to have a family, you must be accountable, cherish, love, and respect that family. And there is a certain set of man laws that should not be violated. And if you are violating them, you probably gay.
And I wanted to address who is this? Fatima, right? Because she took a little issue, I think, or disagreed with me when I said that men should not be seeking anal stimulation, right? Mm-hmm. And so,
where's that shit at?
I think that's my understanding, and she had something to say about that. I wanted to address you earlier. I couldn't work it back in, but I'm curious as to the disagreement that you had about that.
Okay.
And how are you saying that masculinity still lies in that? I think those are feelings.
You talking about booty hole?
I think those are feelings that
you just been crazy tonight.
I'm just
pictures and shit.
Addressing that. Yeah. I didn't put this. Go to the People's News Network.
Well, you gonna defile my group with your shit?
It's because it's not defiled, and it's actually some history, bro.
Hey, look, it's a basic law of nature. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm talking about,
that's your picture.
I'm talking about,
he on his own shit.
I'm talking about the masculine.
I'm talking about all of it.
I'm talking about that masculine and feminine energy. You know what I mean? It's a basic law of nature. You know what I mean? You have to live according to nature to prosper. Nothing that is not in harmony with nature cannot exist for long.
Mm-hmm. Nature is natural.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And is good.
So if it's not natural, it won't exist for long.
So you can't be in favor. You can't be in favor of a creator, right, and then not be in favor of the law of creation.
Right. Of the law of creation.
Right.
Exactly.
What they said on Thursday night and no Saturday night show. So we won't probably be back in effect till Wednesday, but things always change.
Oh yeah, I got brother. I got Baba Courtney coming Wednesday too. Okay. So y'all make sure you tune in, man. That's gonna be an interesting show.
Yeah. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. No, I love him.
I'm just glad I
Listen, man, I'm so appreciative of the love y'all show us.
Yes.
Even if these numbers be low on a Thursday, I don't trip because I can wake up the next morning and I can tell people tune in. Look, that's the best.
Sometimes y'all get around to it, right?
Right. So it's what it is, man. Hit like, hit share, hit follow, tune in to the shows when we repost them. Go to YouTube, get the Nature's Mature Herbs. Go to Talk to Teacher's page and cuss his ass out for not liking booty stimuli.
Come on,
like my sister.
Come on.
But man, I'm telling y'all, man, it's straight love, man, and for everybody who really. Just hold on. We're going to make this thing bigger and better for y'all to enjoy.
It's coming.
Now that we know you all are interested in it, we take that serious. So now we're like, oh, no, people want it. We're going to give it to them.
Word.
So, peace and love. And as usual, to close out the show.
Forever.
No doubt, man. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Peace, y'all. We love you.
Look, and it ain't nothing cooking but the peas in the pot. And they wouldn't be cooking if the water wasn't hot. I'll see y'all next Wednesday.
Peace. That's what's up. Great show, fellas.
Yeah, word. That was almost 2 hours.
Well, because it ain't no show Saturday.
Right, that's why I'm like, we ain't got to rush through shit.
It flows smooth too, though.
We ain't got to flow through shit. I mean, we got to rush through nothing. I'm going to kill that goddamn cricket with a shotgun.
I'm gonna go post some porn on the People's News now.
I know you already started trying to justify.